What is going on, guys? This is the OG Hoenn Champ here, and today I am bringing you the draft analysis for a new league that I am in, Showdown United, SU for short. It's actually not a new league that I'm in. It's actually a continuation, season 2 of another league that, of Showdown United that I was in before, but now Gen 7, baby. And I'd just like to apologize really quick for the lack of videos that have been coming out. I mean, all of the leagues I've been doing videos and kind of died out, and then I was really busy with finals and everything, so that took forever. But finally, we are back, and yeah. So here's the deal. I was 9 out of 10 in the draft order, which was nice. It helped me plan out a lot. It was almost a wheel, so that was really cool. So without further ado, let's just go right into my draft. So here we go. We got Kieran Black, Scolipede, Donphan, Vaporeon, Ninetales, Alola, Armaldo, Celesteela, Togekiss, Typhlosion, Zebstrika, and Mega Venusaur. Alright, so and actually courtesy of Jake Just, who is one of the coaches in this league, we got sprites down here, so I can just kind of point them out to you as I go through. So my first pickup was actually Kieran Black. I mean, honestly, I was shocked that this thing got past the first, like all the way to the end of the first round. So I just picked that thing up immediately. I knew what was going to be my second pick. So all that I really needed was what's going to be my first pick. So I decided to make it Kieran Black. I mean, you guys know how I feel about this thing. It is so strong, both on the physical and special side. Gets so much coverage. And it just hits so hard. And even though it's not at the base 100 speed here, I can still run Bandit if I'd like, because I have Scolipede to pass this. But yeah, Kieran Black definitely going to be a huge ball breaker, potentially a sweeper right now. I knew I wanted to repeat this season because it does so well against one of the biggest threats of Gen 7, the Tapus. The great thing about Scolipede is that pretty much unboosted, except for Life Orb. This was Life Orb calcs. It can OHKO pretty much every Tapu after a speed boost, and with a Poison Jab, except for Max Defense Finny, which really can't do much to me in return. So that is fantastic. I really wanted something to just get the not have to worry about the top boost. And it also does really well against all the Ultra Beasts except for Celesteela, which I actually have, so I don't have to worry about that. But yeah, Earthquake deals with Circuitry. Buzzwole is a problem. But Earthquake again for Nihilego, and Mega Horn for probably the worst Ultra Beast ever, but that's just my opinion. But anyway, yes, Scolipede can be run in so many ways. I mean, you can bring Swords Dance with Black Sludge or Focus Sash and or Life Orb, and along with Speed Boost, you should at that point. Gets really nice coverage in Mega Horn, Rock Slide, Earthquake. I think it even gets Aqua Tail, and then Poison Jab to round out its coverage. And yeah, this thing, it can also be run as a support set with Toxic Spikes, Bat and Pass, Protect, and that sort of thing. Just pass on those speed boosts, maybe something like Kieran, like even Donphan or Armaldo, if I wanted to run those sorts of sweeping sets. But yeah, my next pickup was Celesteela, another Pokemon I was surprised lasted as long as it did, all the way through to the end of the third round. This thing is like a more offensive Skarmory with pretty comparable defensive stats and much better offensive stats, as well as a lot better coverage. I mean, this thing gets Fire Blast, Energy Ball, Flash Cannon, Iron Head, Acrobatics, Air Slash. I mean, it just has so much coverage. I think it might even get Shadow Ball. So this thing is really, really strong. And plus with Beast Boost, you can just keep boosting up that special or physical attack, or even speed if you choose to go that way. Or if you choose to run a bulky set, you can even take out like a Pokemon on 1 health and get a defense boost, which is really nice. Also, that ground immunity is very nice as well. Means I won't be taking as much damage. So actually, I think I skipped around a little bit because this was actually my 4th pick. My 3rd pick was Mega Venusaur, which I knew I wanted. I mean, you guys know how I feel about Mega Venusaur if you watched my battles from the UBL. This thing is bulky, bulky, bulky. Again, with poison typing, does really well against the Tapus. It just sponges hits so well. Has Sleep Powder, Toxic, Sludge Wave, Giga Drain, Leech Seed, and Hidden Power Fire. Those are really the only attacks you'll need. Maybe the occasional knockoff or Earthquake, because it does get those. So really, really great Pokemon. Fantastic defensive wall, and just something that I feel really helps round out the Fire, Water, Grass core in this team between Venusaur, Vaporeon, and Typhlosion. And speaking of, Vaporeon was actually my next pickup. I knew I wanted a bulky water type, and Suicune was taken, which I figured would be. Milotic was as well, so Vaporeon I went with. And Vaporeon is basically a less passive Alomomola, which functions in very similar ways. The only drawback that Alomomola gets over Vaporeon is Regenerator. Sorry, but Vaporeon in return gets Water Absorb, which is probably an equally as great ability. Plus, it gets Scald, which can actually do damage. It gets Toxic, and in addition, it actually gets Roar as well, in addition to Wish and Protect. I think it also gets Baton Pass and Heal Bells, so that's really nice. Basically, just a better Alomomola. So something I've really been wanting to try out for a while, and something I think goes really great with this team, because I definitely need a little more bulk at this point. Especially seeing as it does really well against things that try to take out Mega Venusaur. So next up, I realized I didn't have Stealth Rocks or Rapid Spin on this team at all. I mean, I think Stella still might get E-Fog, but I don't know, I'd have to check that. So I went with Donphan next, actually. Oh, and sorry, I should have highlighted little Vaporeon over here. But yeah, next I went with Donphan. Fantastic rock setter with sturdy, fantastic spinner. Really can do the job well. Also runs a really great choice set, as I mentioned in an earlier video, I believe, because it has so much coverage and really, really high attack as well. I think its attack and defense are both at 120 base, which is really cool. Also gets priority in Ice Shard, which is really nice. Ice Shard and Sucker Punch, I think. So yeah, Donphan, definitely a Pokemon I will probably be bringing a lot just for its ability to fulfill so many roles. So next up, after Donphan, I picked up Ninetales Alola. I mean, this is kind of a questionable thing. I wasn't really so sure that I wanted this thing, and I might end up dropping it for something that can defog perhaps, but this thing I really want it because it's fast and it hits pretty hard, and it's also the nice fairy type, which is something that I kind of needed on this team. So that was really nice to be able to pick up that, and with Snow Warning and Blizzard hitting 100% of the time, that's really nice. So it also gets Moonblast coverage like Dark Pulse and Shadow Balls, so it's a really, really versatile special attacker. Next up was Typhlosion, and Typhlosion I picked up because I needed a solid fire type. And Typhlosion just fits the bill in so many ways. I mean, Eruption speaks for itself, and then Fire Blast if there's Stealth Rocks or Spikes on the field, extra sensory, focus blast, hidden power grass, hidden power electric. There's no reason not to run a choice item on Typhlosion either, because it's just so good. With one of them, whether it be Specs or Scarf, it just hits so massively hard. Next up, I actually chose Togekiss because I felt like I wanted a defog and something that could be run bulky or offensive. I actually ended up dropping it for Lucario, but that'll take place week 2. So for now, I'm stuck with Togekiss. I mean, it's really good with Thunder Wave and Air Slash, being able to flinch, Screen Grace. It also runs a pretty nice bulky set and gets defog as well, which is something I should probably pick up on my team. Anyway, next up was next up was actually Zebstrika. No, next up was Armaldo. I picked him up because I wanted another Rapid Spinner, and Stealth Rock's option also gets, I think, a little more versatility than Donphan and runs a more effective Assault Vest set, which is kind of nice. Also gets Sword Stance, so it could be a potential sweeper. With Swift Swim as well, but not much to set up the rain except maybe Celesteela or Zebstrika. But yeah, Armaldo gets knockoff, Stone Edge, X Scissor. I think it has Poison Jab as well. So Stealth Rock, Rapid Spin, as I said before. Just overall really great Pokemon. And last but not least was Zebstrika. And I wanted this because I wanted a fast electric type. I feel like those Pokemon are just really, really handy in so many situations. So Zebstrika also gives me a little bit of momentum with Volt Switch, so I won't just be hard switching all the time. That's another thing with this team. It's very like bulky, very fat, as some people say. No, not really much potential for U-turn or Volt Switch outside of Zebstrika. But definitely a Pokemon draft that I'm really looking forward to using. And so actually I know, okay, so a couple other coaches in this league have channels as well, and I'm going to be posting those in the description down below. But two coaches, Hyper and Simple Salamence, actually made a power ranking, and I was number 3 on that power ranking out of technically 9, because one of our coaches still hasn't drafted yet, but he's getting a pass because he's away. But 3 out of 9 is surprisingly good. I didn't think I was viewed that highly, so I'm just going to go through each of the teams really quickly, give my thoughts on them. So first we have the San Francisco Giants with Coach RJ. He picked up Mew, Salazzle, Jolteon, Vikavolt, Wishiwashi, Mismagius, Gyarados, Mega, Beware, Shiinotic, Zelmise, and Sylveon. This was actually a pretty solid draft. I mean, from first look, it seems to be a little bit imbalanced. I mean, but he does have really nice speed tiers. He has the Volt Switch. I believe he has the I don't think he has the U-turn anywhere except maybe Mew. But he does have the bulky. He does have the offensive presence. My concern with him is the defensive presence. I mean, Shiinotic, Delmise, Sylveon really rounding out his main forms of defense, and then Mew as well. But really a solid fire type kind of burns through them, pardon the pun. But yeah, he does have a pretty solid draft, nice physical presence with Gyarados and Beware, nice special presence with Salazzle, Jolteon, Vikavolt, and Wishiwashi is mixed as always. I just think he has a lot of focus on certain types like Fairy and Electric, that's for sure. So anyway, and also Ghost. I mean, he has so many doubles of typing, but that's not the worst thing in the world. Next up is Jake Just with Jirachi, Rotom Wash, Roserade, Comfey, Ambipom, Rapidash, Mega Sableye, Salamence, Hitmonchan, Chansey, and Dugtrio. My problem with his team is that the Chansey Mega Sableye core is very, very passive, very easy to set up on. He's probably gonna have to bring Rotom Wash to get a lot of momentum. But overall, he has a pretty decent draft. Again, he doesn't have much special presence. Really, Rotom Wash, special Jirachi, and if he wants to run special Rapidash or Roserade, are really his only like main forms of special wall breakers, but otherwise, I mean, he does have a pretty solid draft. Next up was me, obviously. My name is not Little Marco. This is Marco Polo 074, the OG Hoenn champ. That was Hyper's fault. He was actually the next coach, and the leader Hyper, and with his draft being Tapu Lele, Suicune, Darmanitan's, Shaman, Hitmonlee, Granbull, Pinsir, Mega Pinsir, Garchomp, Metagross, Cryogonal, and Raichu to round it out. I actually wanted Raichu instead of Zebstrika, but what are you gonna do? It's totally fine. So definitely gotta watch out for his physical threats between Garchomp, Metagross, Pinsir, and Darmanitan, and Hitmonlee. He has a lot of special physical presence. Even Granbull can run a pretty effective sweeping set. His special presence is not crazy there, but it's still felt between Raichu, Cryogonal, and Shaman. They're easier to get around, but of course Tapu Lele being the beast that it is, Scarf set, Spec set, even Life Orb set. The one thing that I question is why he picked up Mega Pinsir with Tapu Lele, because his quick attacks aren't going to be doing too much. But anyway, he has a really nice defensive core as well between Suicune, Garchomp, Metagross, and even Granbull if you choose to run the Intimidate set. So yeah, I'm really interested to see how well his team works out. Next up is AZ, who's actually going to be my Week 1 opponent, and the Houston Honchkrows, with Lando I, Slowbro, Crobat, Mimikyu, Druddigon, Garbodor, Scizor M, Hoopa Unbound, who we actually unbanned for this draft league, Magneton, Rotom, Heat, and Golisopod. This is a pretty scary draft, to be completely honest. Between Slowbro and Scizor, Magneton, Rotom being a really nice defensive mix. Mimikyu with the disguise ability, you're not going to be able to take that thing out in one hit, no matter how hard you try. Landorus, more bulk right there, and physical presence. I mean, he has a lot of offensive presence as well. Magneton can trap those steel types. Scizor, just set up sweeper like no other. So scary. And yeah, not much else to say about that. Crobat for the defog. This is a really well balanced team. I actually have set up a team for him already, so I'll bring that up in the next video that you see come up. I'll be my team builder for him. Anyway, next up is a newcomer to this league, the Wild Moscow Mamoswine, and the coach Darkmaster. He has for Week 1 Tapu Bulu, Entei, Tangros, Snorlax, Bronzong, Combuskin, Mega Garchomp, Galvantula, Necrozma, Rotom, and Conkeldurr. Very solid draft, and I will note that Tapu Bulu is actually being traded to Granville. That's why it's there. He's actually receiving Tapu Fini in return. So yeah, he has a really nice physical presence between Garchomp, between Entei, Snorlax, Conkeldurr, and potential for sticky webs to patch that speed issue that he is having over there. Not the greatest speed tiers. Bronzong kind of passive, but it does its job. Same thing with Necrozma unless you set up with it, Swords Dance or Nasty Plot. Overall, a pretty solid draft. I'm actually looking forward to seeing where he takes this thing. He takes this team. Next up is Granville. And the Salt Lake City Staraptors. That is a typo. And I'm going to have to open this up a little bit more. So yeah, he has Tapu Bulu, now Gyarados, Nidoking, Cobalion, Electros, Miltank, Mega Absol, Victini, Azelf, Kyurem, Gligar. Pretty scary in terms of offensive presence, but what I do notice is that he doesn't have many defensive options outside of Gligar, outside of Cobalion, and Miltank. Unless he runs Intimidate Gyarados every week, which I don't think he's going to want to do. So running a very defensive team against him might not be the greatest idea, but running a hyper offensive team that can just take care of all those fast threats, that might be the way to go. He also, it's good to know, pretty cool to notice, his only form of hazard removal is Gligar with Defog, and if he runs Defog, he can't run Immunity, I'm pretty sure. So there's that. So definitely, maybe not the best draft, but definitely up there. So next up is the Philadelphia Golems and Simple Salamence. Again, one of the best drafts in the league. Tapu Koko, Mamoswine, Porygon 2, Amoonguss, Registeel, Mantine, Blastoise, Mega, Cresselia, Volcarona, Scrafty, and Goodra. This is actually the champion of Season 1, Salamence, so definitely he's going to be just a coach to watch out for no matter what he brings. Tapu Koko is always a very hard hitter with the electric terrain and Volt Switch or Wild Charge. You're going to hit pretty hard. Mamoswine, a great physical attacker, great special presence between Blastoise, Volcarona, Goodra, and a nice defensive core between Registeel and Cresselia, and Porygon 2 as well, and Amoonguss. I just realized he has all of those. Mantine too. I think it gets Roost in this generation, which is really interesting. And you can even run defensive Goodra if you want. Scrafty, Dragon Dance setup as well. Definitely something to watch out for. Duke, as I said before, or Dugstar, I'm not really sure how you say it. Not drafted yet. But finally, last and probably not least is the Washington Blaziken with Coach Blazing. He has Terrakion, Milotic, Flygon, Fortress, Hitmontop, Leavanny, Charizard X, Silvally, Superior, Cofagrigus, and Electivire. One thing I noticed about this draft is very physically based. He has almost no special attackers, so there's almost no reason to bring a special wall against him. He has a lot of weaknesses to fire, to ice, and to grass. So, I mean, those three types alone can almost destroy his entire team. So that's definitely something he should be aware of, and hopefully, Blazing, if you're watching this video, make some changes, dude. Hitmontop cannot be your only specially defensive Pokemon. Not that I'm complaining if I go up against you, because I might win. Well, we'll have to see. So anyway, guys, thanks for tuning in. Again, I'm going to leave all the links to the coaches down below. And I hope you enjoyed this video. So leave a like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoyed this content. Again, like I said, I'll be hopefully revitalizing this channel. So I will see you champs in the next video. Peace.